Welcome to the Virtual Propane Expo. This is Bill Staub with the Virtual Propane Expo, and today we have a really cool guest. Today on the Virtual Propane Expo, first let me just go ahead and share the screen. So on the Virtual Propane Expo today, first Virtual Propane Expo, serving the propane and multi-fuels industry, largest propane expo in the world, with thousands of visitors and the largest number of exhibitors in any propane show in the world. Today we have a really cool visitor with us and presenter, and also a sponsor is H&H Sales, and it's John Hawkins. Actually, you've been with the company for decades. Your family started the business, and the cool thing about H&H Sales is that not only were they a propane delivery company for decades, but then they also got into building trucks, and now they build all sorts of trucks for our industry. So they have a really great perspective of both delivering propane and building the equipment that we need for our industry. Obviously, it says here they started in 1951, and they've been building trucks and servicing nationally our propane needs across the country. John, who's with us, is the president and owner of the company. It's a family-owned business, so that means in order to stay in business, they stand up for what they build. They really back it up, and that brings us to why we have John here today, is to really give us some insights into what's going on in the industry. So John's extremely experienced with our industry, understands the trucks and the propane needs, and he's going to share with us what's happening in the industry from the perspective of impacts from COVID, impact from supply, and impact to us, and how we can start planning for that. So John, without further ado, if you don't mind, just tell us a little bit about yourself, a little more background to help everyone that's here understand who you are.
Okay, well, thank you, Bill. I have been in the industry since 1971. After I got out of college, we had a family-owned propane business from the very late 40s, early 50s, and this prompted us to also get into the truck body and material handling business for the propane industry. We saw a need for these dealers to have a way to move their tanks, whether they be the ICC DOT cylinders or the large domestic tanks that are used in the industry today. So, like I said, I've been with the company since 1971. I first worked in the propane industry, and then I branched over into the truck body and equipment business, and have been there ever since. We have three other partners at the present time. Phil Randall, who's our president. I'm actually the CEO. We have Tom Heiser, VP of Engineering, and we have Rex Yant, VP of Operations. And we service the entire United States. We do some work in Canada, and we have shipped some vehicles overseas into the Bahamas and the Grand Caymans, and even further overseas into some other countries. But majority of our business is here in the United States. And we do mostly in the East Coast, Southeast, up to the Rockies. We do ship a little past the Rockies, but when freight becomes an issue, it is pretty expensive to ship equipment that far. We build all types of different truck bodies for the propane gas and the welding gas industry in the way of tank handling units. We also build cylinder storage cabinets for both the forklift and 20-pound gas grill. And that business is booming right now due to the fact that COVID is requiring people to hunker down and stay at home. So we're seeing a big influx of the 20-pound grill exchange business. I know the gas grill industry is going crazy now too, just to produce grills for the consumer. We also build equipment for the HVAC people, and also the general construction contractors, highway construction, general commercial construction industries. Those mostly stay local, but we have sold in other parts of the tri-state area surrounding Indiana.
Yeah, so you really have grown from the propane industry and trucks into cylinder and storage cabinets and other other industries. And so for those of us that are in here on the the show, if you do have other companies, like whether it's landscaping, HVAC, et cetera, come and check out John's website to check out all the different other industries that are served and other types of equipment that they do have, because it's quite extensive. So we will have John's some contact information to get in touch with John right in the virtual Propane Expo. Of course, you can also get in touch with him right through his site at H&HSales.com. Pretty cool site too, I must say, John. I told you that earlier. Hey, John, tell us, if you could, tell us what's happening that's new and different this year because of coronavirus, because of this COVID thing, and how it's impacted suppliers and the ability to build trucks.
Thank you. The biggest issues we're having now is supply of the product with the major truck manufacturers as well as car being closed down for 6 weeks from early April to mid-May. This has created a supply problem getting vehicles into us. Along with them, their suppliers that build the products to install on these trucks, they are having issues with getting those supplies in a timely fashion so that we can get a chassis and or pickup or cargo van built timely fashion. We're also having issues with transportation. The carriers that deliver these trucks from the vehicle factories into our location as well as dealerships, they are having issues because of short supply of the vehicles as well as driver issues. So it's created a much longer lead time from start to finish or order, from the order date to the finish date, than we have had in the past 2-3 years since the industry has turned around. So as we were explaining earlier, it used to be maybe an 8 to 10 week lead time. We're now up to maybe 12 to 14, 16 week lead time, depending on the vehicle type. If we have in stock, we can get the chassis in stock, I should say, then we can get the vehicle built sooner. But if we have to special order the vehicle, it is taking a much longer time to receive those vehicles into us.
Right. So what does that look like? And this is nationwide. It's being experienced everywhere, right?
Yes, that is correct. Yes, all the truck builders that I've talked to are all having the same issues, and it's of course causing us to, not causing, but we're ordering more vehicles to try to keep in stock, so that when we do get an order, we can get a quick turnaround. We had, I think, a mild winter too in some parts of the country, other parts didn't. So we saw a little bit of downturn in inquiries during the summer months, but now it's starting to turn around a little bit. We're getting inquiries here in the last 2-3 weeks. We're seeing some more inquiries. Dealers are looking at wanting to replace the trucks before the end of the year. What always drives sales, either at the end of this month, which is a fourth quarter end for some companies, as well as year end or calendar year end, is our Section 179, which is our tax depreciation program that the government increased the amount of purchases that you can make. And so a lot of dealers who have made good profits, they want to take advantage of this, because you can write the entire vehicle off within the calendar or business year that you're in. So we always see a big demand coming up at this time, as well as closer to the end of the year. I think most companies are probably on a calendar year basis, business calendar year. So we always see this coming in late November or throughout December. And the hard part with December, we've only got really 2, maybe 3 manufacturing weeks, because you get into the end of the year, Christmas and New Year's week, a lot of factories are closed down. A lot of employees take vacations at that time. And so we always struggle to try to get those products completed and finished by the end of the year.
Right. So the lead times, what is the lead time looking like right now? What should the propane market
I would
know
say
about lead time?
Yeah, with the vehicle, if we have a vehicle in stock, we're going to be able to maybe get it out in a 6 to 8 week lead time, if that's providing we have everything. If we're real lucky and it's a simple build, a manufacturer build, we can maybe get it within a 4 to 5 week lead time. If I have to special order a chassis right now, Ford, I know, as well as all the rest of them, are making their model year changeovers, going from the 2020 model year now into the 2021. So we won't see vehicles till sometime late November, early December, because we are ordering 2021s right now, but they will not be coming off the assembly line until sometime October, November timeframe, and then they call what they call an okay to buy. They've got to make that call as to what week they're going to prompt that to happen, and so after that, then they can start shipping vehicles to like ourselves, because we're a commercial pool for Ford and or the truck dealerships. So that's one issue. It's coming up right at the present time.
All right, and so if anybody's looking to take advantage of Section 179, what would you be telling them this year?
Well, I would say, if they get the quote out to them to, if they're ready to pull the trigger on the unit to get the order into us, so we can start, the process to get everything put in place to finish this vehicle up. So that's a big thing. Don't lag after you get your quote. Lag for a while, to make the decision to get this vehicle purchased. If you are ready to go, let's get her done now.
Yeah, when you say get her done now, what's the latest you would recommend? The end of September, the end of October is.
Yeah, I would say yes. If they get their quote and they can decide within a week to 2 weeks, we're into the middle of September now, so they should get their orders in by no later than the end of September. So that gives us three good months to complete the process and so on.
Yeah, that's an important thing for anybody that has been dragging their feet. And it's been easy to drag your feet this year with all the stuff that's been going on, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it just seems like there's one roadblock after another. And of course, we have the general election coming up, and that's going to be taking precedence here as we get into that and so on. A lot of people might wait till after the election's over to make a purchase, but we really need to keep moving forward to keep production rolling and get the orders into the suppliers so they can get the products to us in a timely fashion.
Okay. As far as things that you see that propane companies are doing when they build boom trucks, what is the latest upgrade, the latest new addition or feature that's being added onto boom trucks this year or last?
Okay, well, the newer features are rear view cameras. We have now rear view sensing systems, so when they back up, if there's an object nearby, it'll alert the driver that he's backing up towards that object. Of course, we have backup alarms on them so that people who are near the vehicles know that vehicle is backing up. Ford, General Motors, all of them have new Wi-Fi capabilities built into their trucks. Bluetooth now is standard on all the trucks for the commercial driver because of the hands-free operation for cell phones. And there's just other little comfort features that companies are putting on the trucks now, power windows, door locks. There's 110 volt outlets that are now available that you can put on the truck so you can power up your laptops or cell phones while you're driving. And just little things that make the vehicle user friendly, because these trucks are like an office away from the office. These servicemen, they operate out of those trucks all day long, and so that's their office compared to sitting in an office, behind the desk. And so it's helped by having these little features. It helps the resale value of the truck down the road, but it makes the driver feel more comfortable and wanted, and it helps retain drivers and service people by having these features on the truck instead of just a basic truck. So
yeah, I was talking to one of the biggest propane insurance companies, national propane insurance companies, and they were saying that of the top 2 reasons why people in the propane industry get into accidents, one of them is just backing up into stuff.
Yes.
One of the top 2 biggest accidents in all of North America, propane companies. Right. And slip, trips, and falls is number 3. It doesn't even include the vehicle.
Yeah.
Including vehicles, including all accidents, including slip, trips, and falls. Number 2 is backing up into stuff. And number 1 is bumping into things. It's not having a safe following distance, right?
That's right.
So that device that's going to tell you that something's behind you is becoming more and more important.
That's right.
From an insurance perspective.
Yeah, and you mentioned about the slip. Yeah, you
Yeah, go
mentioned
ahead.
about the slip and falls, running boards on the side of the truck. We always put those on. It's a stirrup step or a full running board, as well as the rear egress and steps on the rear of the truck. So when they climb up on the back with we have grab handles and stirrup steps in the back so that they can get on and off the truck easily without just jumping off the back of the truck. So yeah.
Yeah, we didn't really realize the value of those when we were younger, did we? But
No,
now,
we did not. We were a lot more nimble at that point in time, but what we are today.
yeah, no doubt. But from a business perspective, those things are super important because the cost of a workers' comp, the cost of losing a great employee, the cost of just back injuries is it's just
Yes,
it's increasing, right?
that's
Healthcare
right.
costs are increasing, and also having a little bit of technology. So the technology that you have that you put into a vehicle just to make sure that you're not going to bump into something when you're going backwards. How much does something like that cost approximately?
The backup cameras are normally about $400 to $500 if they come with the vehicle. If we do an aftermarket, they can be more in the $700 to $800 range. And of course, I might also mention when we talk about back injuries, we're finding more and more companies that haul cylinders, whether it's for a crane truck and or a cylinder delivery truck, are using lift gates this day and age too to raise and lower the tanks off the back of their trucks, because most of these trucks set about 48 inches from the ground, and so it makes it much easier for them to offload their cylinders by using a power lift gate. So I thought I'd mention that too, along with
Yeah.
on the crane truck applications.
I ran a propane company that had cylinder delivery as well as regular bobtail delivery, and I had some guys that were amazing with throwing, not with handling cylinders,
Yes.
full and empty. But it's it is an area where you can get hurt, so that's
Oh
that's
yeah,
super important.
absolutely. Yeah, we try to build features into the truck to make it as user friendly as possible, as well as to keep the injuries to a minimal.
Okay, all right. So from the perspective of 2021, what do you recommend propane delivery companies that might be looking for a truck, or the cages that you build, or cylinder truck? What are you looking at out there that we need to be aware of, and we need to be thinking about?
Well, I would say if they're not going to do anything this year, most companies usually wait till they get through their winter season to look at purchases. They have to look at their bottom line to see if they can afford a new truck. We have a lot of different ways that a truck can be purchased today besides just an outright cash sale. We have leasing available, financing available so the major companies take advantage of, as well as the mid and small size propane. Most generally, they always like to pay for everything so they know that they own it outright. But if you would look at leasing, you can also have tax advantages on what they call track leasing. But I would say as they get into their winter season, if they look like it's going to be a good year, don't wait till late spring, early summer. We don't know how far this COVID thing is going to go into 2021 as far as supply and demand. Right now, we're just hearing all kinds of different things for next year. They're predicting, the stuff's not going to go away by election time or by the end of the year. So it's just highly recommended that they look at these major purchases, start looking early on if they plan to do something, and make that purchase happen.
Okay, all right. So potentiality of more supply issues next year. So just greater lead times for this year and next year. Got it. Okay, that makes sense. All right. And you mentioned the increased use of barbecue grills and
Yeah.
the cylinder cages and things like that. What can you tell us is different, or that propane companies should be thinking about if they are considering purchasing something along those lines?
Well, we've had several companies who purchased quite a number of cabinets this year. The convenience store is the marketplace, to sell the gas grill cylinders, and we've just seen a real uptick in that particular area. And It's going to depend again next year as whether we're still hunkering down, the words that they're using, or whether this country is going to really open back up. People have gotten so used to carry out and staying at home and not traveling and so on. I know it's been a real nightmare this past year, and I think everybody's hoping that this country will get back to a new norm or for next year, but we just don't know. But as far as right now goes, these particular products are just selling like crazy. Even the swimming pool industry they're now backed up 2 years on getting pools installed. It's just the fact that everybody has decided that they're going to make their home more of a vacation spot than just a home. And so I was reading in the newspaper about how even the swimming pool industry is having such a hard time, keeping up with the demand of in-ground pools as well as above ground.
Okay, all right, good. So supply issues for them, and really looking ahead to purchase those. It sounds like that'd be the most important thing there too, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Just keep keep an ear on the what's going on out there, and you get some people that just absolutely wait to the last minute to do something, especially when a truck goes down. They need something right now, but if they are planning any kind of change out for next year and trading that old truck in, don't wait till the last minute to be calling and thinking about the purchase of a new one.
Okay, all right. Well, so as a family-run business, what would you say is some of the differentiators for your company? That's if somebody's looking for a truck, looking for cylinder cages. You're right out of Fort Wayne, right? Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Yes, just north of Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Okay, so very central to most of the country, and so when somebody's looking for a truck, why should they give you a ring?
Well, one, that we've been in business since 1951, and we understand the industry because especially myself, I've grown up in the propane industry, and we've been able to come up with a lot of neat ideas to make it, easier to, buy a new truck. There's a lot of nice features on the truck. We've also incorporated a lot of customer features. Because we build every truck special on its own. We're not just a cookie cutter type vehicle. Most of them all have the major features on them that are needed to do tank setting as well as service out of them. But we've incorporated, like I said, a lot of our customers' ideas into it. But just having that general knowledge of knowing this industry for as long as we have has helped us to, I think, excel in what we do as far as the features that are offered on trucks today, as well as just listening to the customer as to what they're looking for and so on.
Yeah, and you have a reputation of taking care of your customers after purchase, which is important. Like you said, central to the United States, easy to reach. And if I were to go back to, let me share the screen one more time. In the virtual Propane Expo, when you're here and you're looking to get more information about H&H, you can go to all exhibitors. Once you do that, you can then type in H&H right here, H, and they will show up. You don't have to get very far. You don't have to type very much. H&H Sales is right there. This is what their exhibitor booth looks like. You can click here and it'll take you to whether it's images of some of their vehicles or right to their website and a contact us so you can get in touch with them and get more information. Once you go to their site, it's a really beautiful site, walks you right through all the different vehicles and different features, functions, and industries that they serve. So really easy to get in touch with you. And so anybody that's listening to this in the Virtual Propane Expo, thanks a lot for being here. This has been H&H Sales with John, who is the CEO of H&H Sales. John Hawkins grew up in the industry, both delivering propane and building these trucks out. Been doing it for a long time, and they are really easy to talk to. I've talked with them on many occasions. It's been great. Phone number's right there. So thanks, John, for being here, and thanks also for sponsoring the expo. So for everyone that's here, you're welcome. Yeah, you're very welcome, and thanks a lot. Because it's companies like yours that's allowing our industry. A lot of marketers can't, obviously nobody can go to a trade show this year. All of the propane trade shows believe it or not, there's more than 10 propane trade shows across our country. And a lot of the association meetings have all been obviously shut down. Can't go to them. Next year, God willing, they'll all be open, and we'll be able to participate in those as well. But we've got a lot of comments, John, from propane marketers and from people like yourself that are sponsors and exhibitors saying, hey, this online expo saved me money. Normally I have to spend $3,000 just to ship myself to some trade show, including travel and hotel and everything, and a lot of time. Right. A lot of propane marketers are just getting busier and busier. Have you noticed that?
Oh yes, we sure have. And by going to a show, it takes 3, 4, 5 days out of the office. And with what you're doing here now, they can still be in the office every day and conduct their business, and still have that opportunity to see what's new and fresh out there in the industry that will help them build their business and save them money down the road.
Certainly. And John, here's a lot of the sponsors, right? Some of the sponsors and all the exhibitors in the show, right?
Right.
And all these exhibitors typically have to spend tens and tens and tens, maybe more than $100,000 plus, just going to all the shows.
Yes.
And all the shows, and they can instead Expo, do their trade show booths right here, present like you are right here. It can save them a lot of time and money too, can't it?
Oh, absolutely.
So our hope is that it doesn't just save them time, it saves them money so that they can pass a lot of those savings on to our industry. Right. And because whatever we as exhibitors spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on trade shows, if we can instead save that money and put it into features and functions into the products that we're delivering, it's a win for the end marketers, right?
Oh yes, absolutely. I mean, as many years as I've been going to trade shows, it always was the mom and pops who were in this industry, as well as even the majors. It was always everybody looked forward to going to the trade shows, but we're not seeing the attendance in the younger people today in this day and age. They're doing more virtual stuff. Yeah. They're just going to the website and looking up the vendor they want to do business with, or several vendors, and getting the different options available. So we've noticed quite a decline in the attendance over the last 10, 15 years. It's just as the age group changes, it was always, like I said, it was always a fun thing for all the husband, wives, and dealers to come to the show and meet with the face-to-face with the vendors, and it was just like a homecoming, as you'd say. But it's not that case with the younger generation who's coming up in this industry. They would rather just do everything right over the computer screen. And so this is what you're doing here is a great benefit to all the vendors who are participating in this program.
That's right. That's right. So for everyone that's listening to this, we're going to put this into a video. It'll be on the Virtual Propane Expo as well as on our YouTube channel. You can take a link to that, share it with anyone you know. Maybe it's the company owner of your company or your partner, but anyone that's interested in purchasing trucks. Great reference point. So you can actually meet John without having to travel to Fort Wayne, Indiana. Meet him right here, listen to what's going on in his company, and save a lot of time and trouble. So John, thanks again for being here. And for everyone that's at the Virtual Propane Expo, thanks again for listening. Again, this will be posted on the site so you can share it or re-listen to it, etc. Thanks again.
Thank you.